Ladies and gentlemen, when you think of American schools, what's the first thing that comes to mind? If your answer is something along the lines of artillery and lockdown drills, well, you're probably somewhere in the ballpark. Now, same thing goes for German schools. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about German schools? Well, I can guarantee you it has nothing to do with artillery or lockdown drills. And today we're going to be getting into the difference between American schools versus German schools. What makes them so different? What are the experiences on either side? And also, what are people's experiences in general with each set of schools, right?
Yes.
So, as you can imagine here, a lot of you guys are probably like, what is he saying? German schools, right? Can you have vapes in school? Yeah. Alcohol in school? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bullying? Of course. Jogging pants? Of course. I don't know what Balkfrei is, but whatever that is, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Free books? I don't know. But a phone, handy. A phone? Absolutely not. I would argue that is one of the similarities between German schools and American schools, except nobody in America listens to the phone policy. You're typically not supposed to have phones, at least in the middle of class. Nobody fucking listens to that. Everybody has a phone out and everything. Much like the other things, people bring alcohol to school, people smoke and do all the other degenerate quote-unquote things in America, but you're not allowed to do those things, but people do them anyway. In Germany, it's legal to do those things. So they're like, yeah, go ahead, do that. Just don't have your phone in class. It's not the right place for it. But go ahead, have a few drinks of your beer. Definitely a culture shock, because alcohol in school in America will get you suspended or expelled. That means you will get kicked out of the school permanently if they catch you with alcohol on your person. That is a prohibited item. There's no way you're getting away with having alcohol in an American school. That's blasphemy. The next one is very interesting because I saw this and I was in absolute shock. This is a German school and it looks like a goddamn palace. Now look at this. It's absolutely incredible. It looks like something out of Star Wars. The halls are super crisp. It does a really quick pan over certain things, so let's go over it really quick. So the halls look absolutely pristine. This looks like a NASA center. Then you have a cafeteria area, it looks like, or a restaurant area inside the school. This is insane. This is their gaming area, whatever this is. This seems like a social area of some sort, but to be fair, out of all the other areas we've seen so far, this looks pretty dry. They have this dated pool table. Pool tables in the high school in general is pretty intense. That's pretty cool, but that's like the only thing that's going on over in this area. They have like super fresh pastries and stuff. What? Look at this. The bathrooms look all right. One big thing that is noted for sure is that there's a lot more privacy in the bathrooms in Germany than, you know, America. But bro, look at this. Now, I'm not going to say every German school looks like this, because this definitely seems like this is a completely remodeled school that is absolutely of the current times. It's contemporary as hell. And yeah, I saw this and my jaw dropped. I typed in German schools. This popped up. What are your thoughts on this? We have schools like this in America, of course, too. And I thought that that was super insane. Now, one thing I have not seen so far in any of the videos I showed you. First video was a meme, so of course we wouldn't have seen it. But in this, the one thing I don't see at all, right? And you'll notice this in the main area, specifically when you watch the video, I don't see any security. I see zero security. I just see a wide open area. People can walk in and walk out freely. That's very interesting, because when I grew up in my high school, we had metal detectors. Yes, you walked in school and you had to get patted down and searched. You put your backpack through a metal detector, much like you do at an airport, and they scanned you just like they would do at an airport. And if you had anything on you that you weren't supposed to, you would get arrested and your stuff would get confiscated, just like an airport. Absolutely insane and sometimes unthinkable, but that's what it is. Now, our next clip, this is called a German school check. So as you can see, this is the bathroom. One thing that I noted earlier is that the bathrooms are totally private. Like the doors go from ceiling to floor damn near. Obviously from the floor, it's completely covered. And then the doors almost go up to the ceiling. I don't know what America's problem is when it comes to privacy in bathrooms, but it's like they want to see you take a shit or whatever when you're in there, because there's freakishly huge gaps in between the bathroom stalls, and the bathroom stalls come come off the ground at least third of a meter or a foot, you know? It's insane. Very invasive. What are you guys' experiences with that have visited America and have had to use the bathroom, an American bathroom stall? What was that experience like? I need to know that in the comments down below right now. I've always been curious. I feel violated using the bathroom in the United States all the time. As you can see, these are the hallways and stuff like that. They're very clean, pristine. We love to see it. This is the main area in the school, and as we saw earlier, this does look not as brand new as what we saw earlier, but this looks super nice. What I'm noticing, and the common theme here, is this centerpiece in the school. There seems to be this big open space in the center of the school, much like the other video we saw, and that seems to be a common theme. See this area right here, that big giant mall looking space where you can look over the railing and stuff like that. It's very open. It's super cool. It makes it feel very, very freeing. It doesn't feel as congested. So I definitely like that. We love to see it. So far, Germany is taking the W's. They're just eating them up like Pac-Man. Num, 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 num. Now we're moving on over to American schools. Now these are a few clips I pulled from random people, random expats that traveled to America and had their experience in American schools. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with some of their opinions, because I guess unlike German schools, American schools have a few things that German schools do not. And I'm not talking about school shootings. So as you can see here, she's showing off the patriotism in the classroom. I think that is actually very weird. There's flags everywhere. I mean, it's enough to have an American flag outside of your school. That's great, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure German schools might be something similar to that. If not, I just feel like that's appropriate, you know? Having it outside your school next to the other flags and stuff, that's entirely okay. But then this in every classroom, bro, that's a little overkill. Let me know in the comments down below if you find this to be a bit strange. The next clip over here shows us Crocs. People wear Crocs. I guess that's a very popular thing in America. I also thought that might have been popular in Europe, but I'm guessing it's not. So I guess lockers that I still can't open. Our lockers in America aren't necessarily the best, but it varies from school to school. Some schools have better resources than others, and that's in any country. So yeah, you're gonna have some state-of-the-art lockers in some schools, and then in others, maybe not so much. I mean, that's just me speaking, but who knows? Maybe they do. What do you guys notice? The cafeteria looks pretty cool. This is a typical American cafeteria. You sit at a table, pick a table, any table, and you just eat. From what I've seen with German schools, it's very similar as well, but I could be wrong. Once again, let me know in the comments down below. Hallways. Now this is not entirely common. Let me explain. A lot of schools don't have outdoor transitions to other classes. Now some schools do and some schools don't. It really just depends on the area. There are some schools that are contained in one building where you transfer classes in that one building and that is it. There are a lot of other schools where it's pretty big, the campus is huge, so you commute from one building to another like we see here, which I think is pretty cool. So she must be in California or something. Trophies of every sport in the gymnasium. That actually, I didn't know that was an American thing. I honestly did not know that was an American thing. I thought that every school did that worldwide, right? Like you go to a gymnasium or you go to any school, they're gonna show their accolades that they've collected over the years in their schools, something, typically their gymnasium. But I don't know, is that something you guys do or not? I'm at a loss when it comes to that. Bathrooms with no privacy. See, she's talking, she's from out of the, she's not from America. I think she's from France. And the one thing I complained about was the lack of privacy in the bathrooms. You can literally see the person looking through the stall here. This is very interesting. German exchange student perspective. So boom. Things I love about American high schools, German exchange student perspective. I think that this is pretty interesting. Let's see what she has to say. So, free period products, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. So feminine care, like I said, that's 100% depending on the school you go to. That is not in every American school. A lot of American schools do not have that, but it's awesome that she founded a school that does have. That's awesome. Water refill stations, this is very popular. This became super popular back in 2011. So a lot of schools actually do have these, which I think is a godsend. It actually tracks how many bottles of water have been filled up on this station by the end of the day. It's super cool, and then more individual classes. Now, this is something I feel like is very subjective. From what I've seen and what I've heard, I think that they do have individual focused classes maybe in Europe as well, people who need it. Because I mean, I did hear the education system is very rigorous, and part of the education system being so rigorous and people being very involved in everyone's life is maybe paying closer attention to those that need additional help. So I think that that also applies to schools in Europe. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's something that's what I'm observing over here. Then when lockers, school dances, I guess our lockers are dope. I'm not sure why she even brought up the whole fact of lockers. Do you guys not have lockers in Germany or something? Now, I will say this. These are two things that I thought were pretty cool, right, that she brought up. School dances and school spirit. So America, we love our school dances. If you go to any high school, elementary school, the one thing that we will have are dances. Absolutely. We will have school dances at least 3 or 4 times out of the year, and our school spirit for sports is through the roof. Much like y'all are with football in Deutschland, bro, we're the exact same way in school when it comes to football or lacrosse, but mainly, you know, American football. So it's pretty cool. I do think that we are very patriotic, and in that sense, it really unites the school together. There's tailgating, rallies. It's dope. You see the typical, you know, jocks and the cheerleaders and stuff like that. That's kind of the whole American aesthetic. It fits. It fits. What can I say? It fits. It works. Going to school in America core. This is interesting. So this is a video that we are actually going to watch with sound, guys. We finally have sound in a video that we can watch, but it's not some stock music as I'm talking. As you can see, you hear a loud boom. The caption is, "Oh my effing God." And after the boom, everybody's looking very concerned, and of course you hear loud and clear, "Everybody get down." School shootings are probably just as common as school dances, if not more common in America, and that is very unfortunate. What's even more unfortunate is that the schools and stuff have to do school shooting drills so they protect the people in the school, but my logic has always been school shooters have always been people that attended the school that got bullied or something, right? And if you're going through school shooting drills, I feel like that gives the school shooter a blueprint on how to bypass the procedures that protect everybody. I know that makes way too much sense, so let's not dive into it. So this next clip actually comes from a guy that's from the UK, and he's lived in both the UK and America. He currently lives in America, and this is his perspective on American schools.
Do you know what doesn't make any sense to me about American schools? I'm gonna have to keep it PG for TikTok, so every time I say school, I'm gonna say school pew pew pew. Alright, but listen. As you guys know, I moved to America from England, so I have the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? But basically, every 2-3 weeks, they have school pew 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 drills, literal drills at school. And when this drill happens, they all do the turn your lights off, everybody stay quiet, close the blinds so nobody thinks you're in the room, go under your desk, da-da-da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? If we look back in history, usually the school pew 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 attends the school or previously attended the school. So bro, if the school pew 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 is in the school or previously attended the school, then they know the whole drill. What's the point of having the drill if they know everything that's going down? They know when you're hiding in that classroom. They know everything. They know everything.
I absolutely agree. I agree. I mean, I think the drills are put in place to say that they're doing something to prevent people from getting injured and whatnot, and at least the lives of the many versus lives of the few. You save more lives if there's at least a procedure in place to protect yourself. But he brings up a very good point. It's a point I brought up earlier. If the person's gonna do damage, they're gonna do damage. They understand how everything is because they're one of the people in the student body 9 times out of 10. So it is very scary. So that was a person that obviously is not German, but you know, it's a person from Europe that had the experience in America, and it's very weird. I didn't even realize that school shooting drills were that frequent. Now it was a thing when I was in high school, but you know, not as frequent as it is now, because I'm telling you, like, school shootings are just as common as school dances, if not way more. A lot of German schools are super safe. There's a clip that I saw earlier fear of a woman walking through a school, and she's like, yeah, like, you know, the students go in through the school, there's no metal detectors, there's no security or whatever, you just walk in, you walk out, super simple. You literally cannot do that in an American school. That's not a thing. And that's obviously because we're allergic to safety in America. We're obviously allergic to that in America. It's not a thing. So, I mean, we all talk about, like, you know, the differences between America and Germany, and one of our foundational things is the school. And now, I know we didn't talk about the education itself, like, you know, what German schools teach versus what American schools teach, but it was mainly an atmosphere, comparison, and contrast. Let me know what you guys' experiences were, either in a German school or in an American school. How did it differ for you guys? Where did you feel safer? Where did you fear it was more live, and where you felt more of a vibe and stuff like that? I would love to hear your comments and thoughts in the comments down below.